Well, hello, everyone. I'm Ed Parco, and this is Amy T. Meyer, and we are the hosts of. And before we bring our guests in today, another devil dog, I want to make sure, not me, I'm a corpsman, but we've had a lot of Marines on. If you want to be on the show, because we're always looking for people to come on the show and share your story, please reach out to us through info@helpingthebrave.com. That's info@helpingthebrave.com. Amy, anything you want to say before we get to Kaine?
No, just that we want to hear everyone's voices. So thank you for that.
Even yours?
Sometimes you let me talk.
I appreciate that. All right, let's bring Kaine in. Kaine Marzola, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your story, because we know that it's difficult for a lot of veterans to share their story when they've gone through a lot of hard times. And we feel that it's the best thing for veterans to do, is to share their story, so other people know that they're going through the same thing. It's okay. They're not alone, and we want to help them.
I believe in the same message. I feel every time I share it to a group of vets, it's actually helping me heal and learn more about my situation and how to cope better with PTSD and the stresses that all these men and women face in our nation right now.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about I'm going to make this a big screen where you're in the middle and we're on the sides. But before, I want you to tell your story. We always ask what service, but I already know you were in the Marine Corps. So tell your story, why you chose the Marine Corps, and tell the story, and then we'll get into the rest of your story.
You got it, brother. So I'm first generation born American right here in Las Vegas, Nevada, to a twin, also another combat veteran. I decided to join the Marine Corps my junior year of high school. Once I watched 9/11 in my classroom that early morning, it changed my life. And I knew at that moment, 1 year later, I was going to be in the Marine Corps, and all I ever thought about was being a warrior. So I was going to go directly into the infantry and go defend my country, because I felt called to do so against my parents' wishes. I was
going to say your mom must have hated you for that.
Oh, no, I think I aged them 50 years probably. But their prayers worked. I made it back, okay, through certain death countless times. So I joined, I got in 2003. I was in Iraq 2004. I was part of the most decorated company and unit in Marine Corps history, 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines, Fox Company, Black Hearts. I was on about over 1,000 combat and humanitarian aid missions around the world. I was in over 200 confirmed firefights. 17 guys in our unit died. My best friend got shot right next to me, and it was intense. You didn't have time to really mourn. You just had to keep going and keep moving. If you told me at 18 that I was going to make it to 19, I would have called you crazy. I'm grateful to even be here in front of you guys sharing my story. I get chills just being in gratitude, knowing that that's where I came from, and I wasn't the only one. There was a bunch of us out of 210 guys that deployed. 144 were awarded Purple Hearts, and it didn't get easier. A lot of us came back with invisible wounds. They trained us to deploy and to be really good at it. They don't do that. They don't really train us to come back. We get some classes here and there, but nothing that's really intensive that really deals with the heart of the problems that these men and women are facing when they get done with their service, when they lose that purpose. I got out of the Marine Corps in 2011. They diagnosed me with severe PTSD in 2009 while I was still on active duty, and that's where the medication started. I never had any.
Yeah. Okay, we want a dialogue. All right. So okay. I know you're. No, I want to get your story across, but I want us to ask questions along the way.
Yes,
so
sir.
It's kind of an interactive and not just. So, Amy, any questions? You're muted.
I know. Sorry. Okay. When you got diagnosed in 2009, how difficult was that, or were you supported by your unit?
No, in the beginning, my unit was very supportive, because I was going down a rabbit hole. I was getting in trouble and just doing things outside my character that, I really didn't have a care for anything anymore. I felt like, life was really not special. It wasn't really worth it to me anymore. I was kind of chasing something, and being misunderstood and misunderstanding situations. I felt like I had to become a lion in combat, and I was walking around the zoo and just feeling misunderstood and misunderstanding my areas. But it was all learning curve.
Would you say it was survivor's guilt?
Yes, that was part of it.
All right. And so how did you, before we get into how we got fixed, I had one question, and it happens a lot. Before you went in the military, did you have any demons, anything you
No,
were dealing with? Okay.
no.
So, because a lot of people do. So I just want to show that you can go into combat and have some issues happen, major issues happen, and come back with PTSD. You don't have to have other demons, but you can have them. So
Absolutely.
right. So you came back, you're dealing with, and you're still in the service when you're back, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you're dealing with being here and not knowing how to handle what you just saw, or been through, I should say, not just saw, but been through. Correct.
Yeah.
So how did you get through that?
I kept working out, kept trying to do the best that I could, but the more that they increased the dosages of the medication, the more I started to lose who I was as a Marine, as a leader. I just started to lose all motivation, all inspiration. I just felt like I was caged in my body, and no longer was that door kicker. I was just, going through the motions, waiting for the day to pass by. The medications are so powerful, and you have no idea what they're doing to you, or to your psyche, or to your perception. I lost who I was. And that when I got on the medications, I was at 173 pounds of hero. And after 2 years of being on over 15 different meds at high doses, I got out of the Marine Corps at damn near 300 pounds, and I was suicidal. Like I said, I'd lost my mission. I lost my purpose. I didn't have the friends that I was used to fighting for. I didn't have anything besides the strong support system that I have here at home with my family. But I didn't tell them how bad that I was struggling, because I couldn't admit it to myself. Anybody that ever tried to get help, or said that they had PTSD, or said that they had a problem, the majority of us looked at them like they were weak. You know what I mean? They're like, why are you complaining? You volunteered for this. It is what it is. But that, looking back at it, that's not right. We need to counsel. We need to, give these men and women new life coping skills. Teach them yoga, teach them breath work, show them some mixed martial arts, give them access to plant medicines and to natural things that don't harm you. They give you nothing but benefit when used properly with the right intentions around the right people. So, I go to, it was actually my worst day of my life. I was going to kill myself. So I called my twin brother, and I told you he was a combat vet, also a professional fighter. And I let him know what I'm doing. Say, bro, I don't got a mission anymore. I don't want to do this. I'm not a good friend, not a good father, not a good American. Like, I went from the highest point of my life to the lowest point of my life. And I don't know how to get out of this hole, because it's just getting harder and harder, because the dosages just keep increasing. Every time I go in the VA, they don't ever ask me why or how to fix a problem. They just say, oh, you must be getting used to medication. Let's just increase the dosage. And I'm in and out of that office within 15 minutes. So I'm telling my brother what I'm doing. He's reminding me all the medals I won, all the accolades and things that we did, and blah, blah, blah. And these are things that the medication actually makes you forget. You forget a lot of the stuff, because it's not on the forefront of your mind. And he gets to my front door and says, bro, if you don't open the door right now, I'm going to kick it down and I'm going to beat you up, because you're medicated and out of shape. Easy money. So I opened the door, and he really would have kicked it down. So thank God I opened the door, because I didn't want to catch an ass whooping being in that low point of my life. He takes me to one fight team here in Las Vegas and trained me personally in mixed martial arts for an hour. And then we shared a joint between brothers. It was my first time, because in the Marine Corps, it's not accepted. It's not allowed. And if it was so good for me, why didn't my country give me an opportunity to even try it? They didn't do that. They gave me the things that killed me, or made me want to kill myself. So he did that. And in that moment, I had a vision. I lost 100 pounds. I accomplished a childhood dream of winning titles and being on billboards around Vegas and getting the microphone and speaking on behalf of all my veterans who are struggling or who are doing something cool in the community. And I saw all of these things. I saw it all happening. And I felt that it was so real that I was willing to die trying to attempt to even get half of what I saw. So I go to the doctors at the VA and I tell them what my plan is and how their medication's killing me and what I want to do and how can I implement this strategy. And I want to start saving lives now. I know we're onto something. I want to do this now. I don't got time to waste. I never thought I'd be here this long, and I don't got another second to go. My friends don't got another breath. They don't have another opportunity. I got to do this now. And the doctor laughs at me. He said, "This is the stupidest idea I've ever heard. You're going to kill yourself and many other people that try to follow you." And so at that moment, I literally looked at him like he was the terrorist. I didn't fight for my life and my guys' lives from sun up to sundown to just give my life to you, some doctor who doesn't give a fuck, or doesn't care. Sorry for my language.
We've heard it once or twice.
It makes me feel better every time. No, yeah. So the doctor says that. And now I tell the doctor, like, man, I just told you what you're giving me makes me want to kill myself. I just told you what I'm doing for myself makes me want to live. And that's what I want to do for us. So now you're a terrorist, man. Don't say another word. This is the last time I'm going to be in your office. And he said, you're right. Now that you tell me you're doing cannabis and other plant medicines, we're not going to give you anything anymore. So you're probably going to die from the withdrawals anyways. And it kind of like with a little sarcastic smile, man. And I had to walk out of that office before, I did something that I was going to regret, So I walked out of the office, and in less than 2 years, I did it. I was off of 15 different medications. I lost 100 pounds. I was on 24 billboards around Vegas. I won 2 championship titles, became a professional mixed martial artist, created a CBD company called Veterans Vitality CBD. And most recently, the latest manifestation was to link up with my brother Leland Holgate and take over as president for Warriors for Life America, which is a veteran nonprofit locally out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, where we teach men and women to self-regulate, to be their first therapist, to be their first doctor before they go out and get second opinions.
I see your cat's taking over.
Yeah, she does listen to me.
Cats don't listen to anybody. You can't control a cat, and that's the first thing you need to learn. You can't control people.
Yeah, so I hope it sums it up. But that's what I did, but that's definitely not how far I'm going. That's just a couple chapters.
Right, and that was real quick. So, all right, let's go back to during your 2-year struggle to get off those medications, how hard was it?
Oh man, it was the hardest thing I've done in my life. That doctor was absolutely right. I almost did die from withdrawals. And I'm telling people out there, don't listen to what I'm saying. I'm a unique situation. I believe everyone's capable and strong enough to do things on their own, but depending on how long you've been on medication for, you can't just quit cold turkey like I did, because you run the chance of dying. But on my behalf, the things that I was using, the natural remedies and cannabis and other plant medicines, it helped me. It helped me. It helped me feel like a lot stronger, and that I could go through the pain until the pain became a pleasure, and it turned into a power. And then I realized that my purpose was bigger than the pain that I was feeling, and I was willing to go through it. And little by little, I just kept getting better. I'm not going to say that the pain goes away. I just got better at coping with my pain, and just will not give up. We fought. We're fighters. We're warriors for life in America, and we're not going to stop. But now we choose our weapons as love and compassion and education for our community.
Amy, anything?
Sure.
Your cat's upset.
It's her first heat.
Along with using cannabis, you talked about different modalities of therapy, with yoga, with
mixed martial arts. Yeah.
Mixed martial arts. Is mixed martial arts what you consider the most therapeutic, or is it using combinations? No,
it's a combination. There's not one solution for it all. That each thing that we stimulate ourselves with gives us a different reaction. So I'd love to go out and listen to music as a therapy. I like to watch comedy shows as a therapy. And these are all things that we do for our troops out here as well. It's not just mixed martial arts or yoga or breath work. We know that there's many things out there, and we're constantly searching. So if you guys have any tools or anything that you want to add to our programs or ask us to take a look into, we do that. And what's beneficial, we share it for free. We don't ask anybody for anything. All of our events are absolutely free to our veterans, first responders, and all their families.
Well, like Ed had said, do you work with other nonprofits? Because I think of merging vets and players.
Yeah, I know Bruno Moya and Isaac really well. They're the program directors here locally for MVP. Absolutely. We are one of the nonprofits that we ask all of the other nonprofits to come to our events and showcase what they do for vets. We bring them all together.
Nice.
And by the way, that was off air when I said that. So no one knew.
Oh, maybe. Okay, sorry.
What I said is we have silos that we're all part of that, you know, that don't work well together. And that's not what we want. We want everybody to work well together. Even if you overlap a little bit, it's okay. Nobody wants to steal your benefactors, your donors, or whatever. We're not here for that. We just want to make sure everybody gets helped.
Did you hear that, America? All my Americans, we want everybody to be helped. Stop being stingy. To stay united.
There you go.
All right, back to you guys. What's up?
Watch out. She's taking over the show.
Right? No,
All right. So going through this, what helped you the most? Was there one thing that helped you the most?
It was
because I keep hearing breath work. And so I just don't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was my individual initiative. That's what, you know, all these other tools, they only do 50% of the work. You got to do the other 50% if you want 100% result, you know?
All right. So a veteran struggling right now with what you just went through, how do you get them to where you are?
I share my story because there's a lot of commonalities between vets. And then, you know, I spark their interest, you know, I open their mind, I educate them with things that I've done with either science-based facts or with personal testimonials from me or other veterans who listened to what I said and got the results that they got. That's how I share. I let them dip their toes in the water, show them some information, and then what intrigues them the most, I spend the most time with them on.
Have you spent a lot of time talking to other vets about what you've been through, and has that helped you deal with what you went through?
Absolutely, 100%. Every time I share my story, I get a little bit better. And I feel like it's never wasted. Even if I only, you know, inspire one vet or one patriot during this broadcast, to me, that's worth it. It's one life at a time until there is no more time.
So what you're saying, from what I'm hearing, this is kind of softballing. Tell your story. It's okay to tell your story because that's how you get help and that's how you can help other people. So what you're going through, I'm not just saying you, Kaine, I'm saying in general, who's listening to this, whatever you're going through, other people are going through. So getting your story out there will help you and help other people.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many letters I've received or messages on social media platforms where it's a vet that I didn't even know, or a family member of a vet saw a video or met me at an event or went to one of our warrior walks or warrior wellness days and said that moment changed their life, that they were actually thinking of killing themselves until they came across the message or they came across the experience. And then they become the next testimonial. They become the next NCO, the next leader. Now they're going back to their local community or their local neighborhood or their network of vets that they know, and they start to share their story and be like, hey, man, I experienced this. I met this person. Come to the next event. And then before you know it, we've got a huge tribe, and it's growing every single day.
All right. So you said you took over Leland's nonprofit. Is that what you said?
As president. No, we do it together. I just became president.
The Warrior Walk, we talked about this before, I think, on the last time we had him on. I thought we should have that nationwide going on when you guys do it. So
absolutely,
we need to do something like that.
And like I said, yeah, and we do a bunch of different events because we know that vets come from different backgrounds. So a lot of them don't like what the other one likes. So we make a bunch of family events, and we open them to new experiences, whether it's DJing or music or comedy shows, fishing, hunting, hiking, yoga in the park, you know, mixed martial arts at the gym, self-defense for the kids and the family. Because I believe it's not just the vet that suffers. It's who the vet is in contact with. You know, it affects everybody in our community. If one person's affected, there's definitely a ripple effect. So that's why we all need to take it upon ourselves to help ourselves so we can help the people next to us.
All right. Anything else you want to add about your story? Because I don't want to take away from it. I just want to, then I have another question regarding your organization and what you do.
No, not at all.
Okay. So what do you need help with your organization?
Funding. Our biggest problem that I've realized with the nonprofit is we have a lot of great ideas. We have a lot of support from the community and stuff, but for us to really make an impact the way we need to make an impact across the nation is we need to secure funding for these events, either from corporate sponsors or from individual donors, because all of our events are absolutely free to the vets in our community.
Any idea there, Amy, Miss Nonprofit? She's Mrs. Nonprofit. She was Volunteeraholic is what her name used to be. No, I'm not kidding. That's what she used to have instead of Amy Timar.
She's still deep in it. Are you recovering or are you still in it?
I'm still in it.
I'm going to make this even for all of us to talk. All right.
You know, I love to volunteer, and I do work with multiple groups, and it's hard to give advice on funding sources when I don't know enough about your nonprofit. So I'll just be honest with
No, that's not that, and that's
hard
okay.
to give a direction. But at another time, if you wanted to Zoom, I would love to talk to you about different. I can be a really great idea fairy. So I would
Absolutely.
love to
Well, I'll help manifest what you say.
And so, but I agree also. I think even working with other nonprofits can give you, as a volunteer even, can give you ideas of where you can search for, not to say to like go to a nonprofit to look for how they get money, but seeing how they're sharing their story, seeing the impacts that are important to other people, different things like that.
Absolutely.
I think it's really powerful when we support other groups that are completely even unrelated.
100%.
So like cats, go to a cat nonprofit. It could give you a crazy idea that you would never have thought of any other way.
Mm-hmm.
Something, you know, like that.
Well, thank you. I'd love to talk to you through Zoom sometime and pick your brain.
But
It's not about me. It's not about us. It's about all of us. We truly want to have that impact to where it changes lives.
Right. And working together doesn't mean just people who are similar to us.
No, not at all.
We have no idea how partnering with a completely random other charity might actually be the secret sauce.
Right.
Okay.
I just got a text from Leland saying we're going to get together on the walk kind of thing. So that's why I was smiling, because like he must be the only one watching right now.
we support each other.
Yeah. No, so what we do with this, a lot of people don't realize we do this live. People watch it. They watch it after the fact. It goes to the YouTube channel. Then we upload it through to our podcast. So it goes out everywhere, you know, Audible everywhere. So that there's multiple ways this gets out there. And that's what's the most important for us.
But yeah, back where I was saying, I think that's the biggest impact that we have is our events. It's just it being different every time. We don't try to do the same thing twice. We try to give a new experience every single time and just keep going around about.
Yeah, because I think a lot of us should actually overlap our events. Like you're doing that walk, Amy, right up there, that hike or whatever. So I'm going to go up there for that hike. She was shocked I was going to get a rucksack and actually do it.
What is it? Is it Silky's hike? What is it?
So it's good. This is the first annual. So it's called Ruck for Mental Wellness.
Okay.
And it's combining Allied Forces Foundation, MVP, Operation Ward 57, hopefully AUSA. I have a list of who's already confirmed.
Okay.
And we're just going to, but it's going to be, so in Army terms, they have something called EIB, which is you have to have a 35-pound ruck and do a 12-mile road march. And so we're kind of do it around DuPont, which is close to Joint Base Lewis McChord. And in NAMI, which is a mental health service, we're gonna be there at the beginning, at the end, to talk about mental wellness and different modalities of things that we can do when you take, ownership of your own mental health, and that we have to teach. You have to love yourself more than anybody else.
Absolutely, that's the biggest key. Is learning to self-love, because a lot of us we do everything for everybody else, especially being a vet. You volunteer to go do what no one else wants to do. And that's the same thing with your love.
Yeah. And especially you guys with the round eyebrows. You always think about everybody else around you. We have a guy that's in our group. He tells you everything about you from your face, and you guys have round eyebrows. So that way you don't think about yourself. You think of everybody else first. You need to think of yourself.
So it's going to be on June 25th. I'm hoping to have a flyer made in the next 24 hours. It was promised by an Army dude yesterday, so could be 24 more hours.
Well, and we're willing to come to those events. Like if you have an event and you want us to come, we'll come and we'll do this. We'll come and do it, and we'll talk about it on our next show. So
wow. Well, we happen to have an event on June 11th called Warriors Wellness Day.
I prefer
downtown Las
October in Las Vegas.
Vegas.
I'm just kidding.
I'll throw one in October just for you. Okay.
No, I'm in Modesto, California. It's freaking 110 during June, so I'm used to that. So
Cool.
So I did have a question that was kind of random. I was talking to my boss about you, sir, and she thinks that you might have known her husband, Lieutenant Rob Kelly.
The name sounds familiar.
And so he was a devil dog and he was killed in action.
Okay. Well, prayers out to him. Rest in peace, warrior.
And when I mentioned your unit, she goes, I think that was Rob's unit. And I said, well, I'll ask. I don't know.
Yeah. No, the name definitely sounds familiar. It's been almost 20 years, but the name sounds familiar.
and and what people don't realize how long this stuff stays with you, right?
It never goes away.
Yeah. I mean, you have
Like
to deal with it.
We just get better at coping with it.
Right. Understanding and working through it. And
Right.
and one of the reasons we actually went live on the show is because we actually had an interview with a gentleman who was 30 years Iraq, right? And then second day his Bradley got hit and a couple of people they died, and he had survivor's guilt 30 years later. You could still hear it and that's why we thought it was very important to go live so people can actually hear what's going on and comment and talk. Oh, speaking of that, I didn't notice. I know it's all Leland.
Yeah, the biggest thing is to get these men and women to realize that they're not having a bad day. It's just a bad moment, and it's past. It'll pass, you know.
Well, hold on.
Ooh.
What'd you do there?
I didn't need to do that. Sorry.
That's all right. So I guess Leland knows that guy. There you go. So you said you could talk for 3 hours, and it's only been 26 minutes.
You cut me off, man. I would have never shut up.
I know you would have kept going and going, it's important to get across, but it's also we want to talk about not just what happened to you, where you're at now, and what you're doing,
absolutely,
and how you're benefiting people, because people need to know. Yeah, exactly. Because that's what everybody's dealing with. And if you saw our thing, it's about once you take the uniform off, how do you fix that? Because transitioning and having a purpose, I hear it everywhere. I mean, not only for military people, but at this last event I was at, it was people getting out. They were talking about, people getting out of prison and stuff. They don't have a purpose. They don't know what to do. And I'm not saying it's the same thing, but it's a form of incarceration, the military. I don't care what you say.
Another big thing that helped me was in the beginning was volunteering. When I started to volunteer for other organizations, it really set a fire under me. It gave me a new purpose, and it just showed me a new path that, it's not all about sending rounds down range. You can make an impact here at home, and it's just as fulfilling.
All right. So if somebody's so you're in Las Vegas, correct?
Yep.
All right. So if someone's in Las Vegas, vets in Las Vegas need help, reach out to Kaine Marzola. Reach out to him. You're everywhere. I saw you're on Instagram. You're everywhere, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what are you on? You're on just Kaine Marzola on all those? Okay.
No. Oh, well, it's on Instagram. It's Kaine Kong. And then on Facebook, it's Kaine Marzola.
First thing that popped in my head is we need to change that.
Well, King Kong was my fight name, so
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, get another one for your personal stuff that you're doing now. We're told all the time your name needs to be the same across everything, so people can find you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually, when you type in my name, all that pops up.
Right, I understand and you keep that. You just now you're doing something differently. Let's add one more. You can always have another Instagram account.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So moving forward, you need funding, and you said you have an event coming up June what?
11th.
And what is that event?
It's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to be doing a breathwork experience. We're going to be having another combat vet named Hamilton Garces. That's an amazing sound healer. He brings a bunch of sound bowls and plays a lot of indigenous instruments and flutes and conch shells. And then, it's going to be a really, really cool experience because we've learned that through breath work and certain other modalities like mixed martial arts and stuff, it's very therapeutic and it can bring you into a higher state of consciousness that can make you come outside your problem, make you remember how strong you are as an individual and how powerful you are. We're humans are superhuman. We're stronger than we've ever been taught. And we can teach these men and women techniques that can show them this kind of inner strength. And when you have this inner strength, it showed and it's displayed. And we're seeing a lot of benefit and a lot of healing going on.
All right. Send that stuff to me in a text so I know where it's at. All right.
You got it. I'll send it all to you.
All right. Looking back at your younger self, would you tell your younger self to do anything differently?
No, as traumatic as it was, I found certain magic, and I don't think I would ever found that magic if I didn't have to go through all those tragic things, you know? So no, I wouldn't change anything. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat.
All right. There you go. Amy, got anything you want to add? You've been very quiet today because you're at home and it must be really noisy in the background.
Well, I have dogs, and then I had a child come home, and so I was just trying to, make sure that the sound quality was good because somebody would call me afterwards and,
Who would that be?
complain. I have no idea,
The
Ed.
guy with the headphones?
So, no, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your story and letting us ask questions. I appreciate you, and I thank you for your service.
Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
No,
Really
thank you.
look forward to when we can collaborate.
Yeah.
And I'll reach out about Zooming and doing like a brainstorming session. I would love that.
You got it. And if we can support your upcoming event, I'd like to be a part of it if it works within our schedule.
Perfect. I look forward to it.
Yeah, that sounds so great. And, I was listening to somebody else talking about their tragedy that they went through and how they dealt with it through humor, sometimes inappropriate humor. Right. And I know being in the service, that's how you deal with stuff, right? You something happens and it's very inappropriate and somebody listening to the show would go, that's just rude. And it's like, no, that's how you deal with it.
No,
and
absolutely.
So, and a lot of people go, you're smiling or laughing a lot. It's just because I'm dealing with stuff that you don't understand.
Or I'm showing you my teeth.
All right, Kaine, it was great having you on.
Thank you for having me, man.
All right,
I'm grateful for the opportunity, and man, keep doing what you guys are doing, man. I know you're reaching a lot of people, man. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this, because that's all I want to do is I want to reach people.
And we want you part of that. So reach out to us if you need anything. How can people get a hold of you again?
You can reach me on social media. You can come to our website, warriorsforlifeamerica.org, or on Facebook, Warriors for Life America. That's all you have to type in, or reach out to me directly. Direct message me on any of my accounts. I will always reply, especially to a vet that's in need. I have many avenues that I can help you with, whether it's through my nonprofit or it's through another nonprofit. So there's help out there. Don't be scared. I'll give you some time. I don't have a lot of time, but I'll give you the time that I do have, and I'll show you some things and share some knowledge with you. And hopefully you can do the same for me.
I just want to add on to what you said. Nonprofits, start working together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Please. Everybody needs to work together.
Reach out now.
We need to help more vets and not worry about how they got help. Amy, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it.
God bless. Number 5.
Kaine, thank you so much for sharing your story. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. And if this after the fact, make sure you let us know that you enjoyed by subscribing and following us. And everybody have a great day.